All right, ladies and gentlemen, Levi Burdick here with Team Burdick and Juice Plus, and I am joined by one of our distributors with an absolutely epic story. Dan Furlong has led a life that movies are made of. I guarantee you it's not going to be long before Hollywood writers are calling this guy to make a movie about his story. After a lifelong struggle with addiction and mental health, Dan Furlong has found ways to overcome his struggles, to make the most of them, and not only change his own life, but to begin impacting millions of other people's and changing their life. And after an epic adventure less than 2 years ago, he's going to tell us a little bit about that, and he's going to tell us about the adventure he has coming up. Dan, I'm turning it right over to you, bud.
Oh, Levi, thank you so much for having me on your call. And I'll send the money for that introduction in DHL across the pond that you've got above your head right now. Because I'm coming to you from that small little island, England. I'm in London, and it's just a real pleasure to be on the Team Burdick Zoom call. I love being part of Team Burdick. It's just the best team in Juice Plus, and the best mentors as well. Yeah. So where do you want me to start, bro?
Well, what I'd like you to do first is tell us a little bit about your story. You've had you've lived some dark days and been in a long, dark tunnel and finding your way through that darkness and finding light at the end of the tunnel. Tell us a little bit about that to start with.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm a men's mental health advocate. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an ultra runner. But you're right, I really do need to give the backstory first. So I actually had a 20-year struggle with a mental illness called obsessive compulsive disorder. And there's a lot of misinformation out there, largely due to the media, that people think that OCD is something quirky and something cool, and I'm a little bit OCD-ish and stuff like that. But let me tell you, it's not. I had a 20-year battle with a form of OCD called intrusive thoughts, and these thoughts would start becoming intrusive around about 11 years old, and I wouldn't be able to get these thoughts out of my head. And they were, for instance, research shows that 4 out of 5 people experience intrusive thoughts, but for even thoughts about harming their loved ones. But for 1 in 50, these thoughts become really, really hard to dismiss. And due to the nature of the thoughts, OCD sufferers will try and get rid of these thoughts. And the harder they try to get rid of the thoughts, or to try and stop these thoughts from happening, the faster and faster and the more intense and more relentless that they get. And you quickly become debilitated with this process, because you have no idea why you're having these thoughts. You think that these thoughts mean that you're a bad person. OCD used to be called the doubter's disease, because it makes you doubt who you are. And yeah, I lived in what I called a suicide limbo, which is a place where I didn't want to live, because my thoughts were all day, every day were so dark and so horrible. Yet I didn't want to die and commit suicide, because I love my family so much. I love my sport. And there's also the sensible part of your brain, which is saying that although you don't understand why you're having these thoughts, you're never going to act out on these thoughts, and they don't mean anything, and you're just in a constant battle. So at 15, I started to medicate with alcohol, and at 18, I started to use Class A drugs. So I not only had a 20-year struggle with OCD and depression, I also had a 15-year battle with addiction and alcoholism as well. Got clean and sober from the alcohol first. So I'm approaching 6 years clean and sober now, from the alcohol. It took me 2.5 years to get clean and sober, because in that 2.5 years where I was trying to stop drinking, my OCD would start. It would get me suicidal, and I would just pick up a drink again. Vicious. Yeah, my whole life has been one vicious cycle after the other. But yeah, I got clean and sober, and then I went to see a psychiatrist, because I'd been keeping these thoughts to myself for 20 years. We're guys, we don't tell anybody anything that's going on with us, with our brain. but I also couldn't tell even my family because I was worried that they would think that I was capable of some of these thoughts that were going on inside my head and stuff. I was petrified. But anyway, I went to see a psychiatrist. I told him a little bit about what was going on with me. And he said, you don't need to see me. You need to go 2 doors down and see Dr. Monica, who's a psychologist. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. So I went down to see Dr. Monica, and for the first time, I just broke down. I told her everything. And she said, you're not an evil person. You're not any of the things that you think you're turning into. You're not losing your mind. You're not any of this. You're suffering with obsessive compulsive disorder. And I said to her, no, I'm not. Like me telling her. I said, like, I don't have any attention to cleanliness. I don't have any attention to tidiness, to symmetry, or any of that stuff. Like, you're wrong. And she's like, no, that's the misinformation that's out there. Then she explained about OCD and intrusive thoughts. So through 2 years of therapy with her, I was able to turn the tables on my disorder, medication free. Some people do go down the medication route. I just chose not to. That's, again, a completely personal choice. And I'd say to anybody who's struggling to research all of the different options available, I just went with the no medication route. I just went with therapy. And then I started to investigate how much fitness and nutrition impacts mental health. And around about the same time, I stumbled into Juice Plus as well. And maybe a bit later, we can talk about how powerful the Juice Plus products are for treating as a treatment for people who are struggling with any kind of issue with their brain. And then I started to also look about how spirituality impacts my mental health. And I didn't know anything about spirituality. And to me, spirituality is just believing in a power greater than myself. It's about deflating my ego, because my ego kept me trapped for so long. And it's about helping others. And helping others has become the cornerstone of my recovery. And as you know, I did a little less than 2 years ago, I did an ultra run.
That's leading me into my next question there is, so as you found your way into improving your mental health and kind of taking charge of your own nutrition, you constantly found yourself pushing for new things, to setting higher goals for yourself and more outrageous and adventurous goals. And, around 2 years ago, that led you to India. So tell us a little bit about that, and not just the race that you participated in, but share some of those looks on the faces and the impact that you made there.
Yeah, that's right. So as I said, I got involved with an American charity called the Blink Now Foundation. And the Blink Now Foundation was set up by an amazing young American lady called Maggie Doyne. She got CNN Hero of the Year in 2015. She set up an orphanage 10 years ago. She set up an orphanage in the western region of Nepal. And this orphanage grew from just a couple of kids that she was looking after into a home for 50, and then a school for 500, and then a women's centre, and all this amazing stuff. And I've been out to that orphanage 8 times in my sobriety. And I've always done little bits, fundraising here, just little small challenges. And I said to myself, you know what, I want to do something really mega for this charity. And I also want to do something that is going to test me physically and mentally and take me into dark water. So I said, I know what I'll do. I'll run from Kathmandu, which is the capital city, and I'll run 600 kilometers through the Himalayan mountains of Nepal, and I'll do it to raise money and awareness for the charity. Now, bear in mind, Levi, before this run, I had never run even a 10K in my life. I've always been into fitness and I've always played sports, but actually running, I've not even done a 10K fun run. But what I said to myself was that, you know what, if I can endure mental illness, I can endure anything. I'm going to keep the bad times, the times where I was suicidal, the times where I'd overdosed on drugs, and all of those crazy times, I'm going to let them power me through. Because if I can survive them, then I can survive 600k run. And on the last 2 days of the run, I had 90k left to do, and I had a stress fracture in my lower left leg. Every time I put my foot down on the pavement, it was pounding, and I could have quit, and people would have said, "Oh, you've done 500. Okay, that's amazing." But I knew that, like, the pain might last for. I knew it was going to last for the rest of the run. I knew it might last for a couple of weeks. It might last for a couple of months. But if I quit, that pain would last for forever. So I said, you know what? I've been through worse than this. I just bit down and did 100k on a stress fracture. So I was running with a fractured leg. Got to the 10k mark. The kids met me for the final 10k, and it was just the most amazing thing to see their little smiles. And through that run, Juice Plus supported me the whole way. The products were a massive part of the reason that I'm able to do like the 14 marathons in 17 days is due to Juice Plus products, because I was fueling my body to repair, whereas most athletes try and fuel their body to perform. But the repair part is the crucial part. And with the Juice Plus capsules, the Juice Plus soups that we have over here in the UK, and then the Juice Plus Complete in the evening time, I had my nutrition on point, and I was just buzzing every single day. And the company were a massive support, all the way down from Jay Martin to Paul Jarvis to Dan Holzman to the Simon Bowler, the guys in the UK. They said, any donation that comes in from a Juice Plus franchise partner, we're going to match. So, for instance, you guys, the Burdick family gave me $500. The Juice Plus Dan Holzman Foundation, they matched that. So combined between the company and the franchise partners, we raised $14,000 for these kids. And let me tell you, Levi, that went to buying a school bus. And a few months back, I was in Nepal, and we was opening up the brand new high school that the charity had opened. And as my dad had me working out there, so I was shoveling cement, like final preparations, and it was raining and it was hammering it down, and I was like, oh my God, I'm working. And up pulls this school bus, and off this school bus gets 60 odd little Nepalese kids with their satchels on their back, walking into their brand new high school for the very first time. And I was like, that's the contribution Juice Plus has made to this community right there.
Your efforts.
Yeah, so it's like it's a combined effort, mate. Yeah.
Well, there you go, and that's what your first adventure, the fruits of those labors, getting to see the fruits that bore. So now here we are, less than 2 years later. You need a bigger challenge. You need a bigger mountain to climb. And instead of going up, you have gone down to South America, to the jungles of Peru, to take on a new challenge. Tell us about that, Dan.
Right, cool. Well, do you want me to quickly try and show you the video of it?
Let's start off with the video.
Let's start off with the video. Let me see. I'm like technology, man. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if I would love to do this for you guys. Yeah, so that
Wow.
is the Jungle Ultra. It's an event run by a company called Beyond the Ultimate. It's a 5-day, 230k stage race through the rainforest of Peru. It's a self-sufficient race as well. So you'll notice the men and women in that video, they had their packs on their back, and inside the packs you have you carry your food, your medical kit, your tent, your hammock, and your sleeping bag, everything for the 5 days. So you're carrying about 10 to 12 kilo on your back through that humid jungle, and yeah, that's what I've signed up for. And this time next month, I will be in that jungle.
And in the jungles of Peru, there's quite a few dangerous animals. Tell us what you learned about the number of snakes there.
Yeah, so I went to have a coffee with the race organisers just to introduce myself and stuff like that. I said, like, tell me, come on, give me the truth. What are the real risks when you're out there? And obviously, there's the humidity and the uneven trails and all that sort of stuff. And they said, well, there's 200 snakes out there, and 6 of them are poisonous.
200 species of snakes, and
And
six of
six,
those species.
6 of them are poisonous. And so I said to them, no, in my luck, like a battle with OCD, a battle with alcohol and addiction, I'm bound to find one of those 6 snakes. And they said there's also wild hogs as well, which I was like, really? In the jungle? They said, yeah, they're out there. And I was just like, loads of crazy things. But yeah, as you said, I'm more worried about the insects than the snakes.
The insects, the bacteria, the parasites there's a lot of unforeseen things there. But speaking of unforeseen challenges, this goes back to your own struggles with mental illness. So you're using these challenges to combat your own struggles with mental illness. And how is this particular challenge you're taking on? How are you going to roll this into your charity and your goal for helping other people, Dan?
Yeah, so for this one, like after my run in Nepal, it's such a high when you achieve so much. It's such a high. I did slip down a little bit, and I did experience some depression for the first time in a long while, and I knew I had to get myself another goal. I think if anyone who's listening on this call, if you are struggling with any kind of problem with your brain, it is so important to goal set your way out of it. And I set this as a goal, and when I signed up to it, I said, you know what, this time I want to give back, and I want to give back to a charity that has been such a fantastic support to me and is doing really, really good work for people with OCD. So I'm doing it for a charity called OCD Action. And the money that we raise is going to go straight through to OCD Action. So Juice Plus actually sponsored me this time to enter this race because they wanted all of the money. They didn't want OCD Action paying for the entry. So they paid for my entry into this race, which is a considerable amount of money, as part of their healthy giving program. They loved the fact that it's mental health. They want me to tell my story. And they've also stepped up as well and said that any franchise partner that donates to my run, the Juice Plus company are going to match that donation. So I've just, again, been blown away. And like the work that this charity is doing is saving lives. And as I said, my OCD started at 11 years old. These guys are in schools, helping school kids. They've got a hotline where people who are really struggling can phone up and get through to somebody on the other end who knows what they're talking about. They're doing advocacy work for, like, if you're employed and you're having trouble with your employer, they'll represent you, and just so much amazing stuff. And I'm just really, really proud to be a part of the Juice Plus company and be able to help this fantastic charity.
Dan, pride is definitely the word that we feel, having you part of the team that we work with, and being a part of the Juice Plus company, sharing this message of nutrition and changing your life, changing other people's lives. It's absolutely fantastic. What we're going to do right here is we're going to throw up, and you can just point your fingers down like this. We're going to throw up on the bottom of the screen right there. We're going to insert a spot where people can see the information, how to reach you. So go ahead and tell people how they can reach you and contribute to your cause.
Yeah, cool. So what we'll put up the Just Giving page,
Okay.
so they can go straight to the page and they can donate. And guys, no donation is too small. You know, $5 is going to be matched by the company. So a $5 donation is a $10 donation to this charity. So any amount I'll be truly grateful for. So you can click the link to go straight through to the Just Giving page. And if you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I've got, and tell all the men in your life about my Instagram account. It's Mal Anxiety Depression. So Mal Anxiety Depression. We'll put it up, AKA Mad.
There it is. There it is now. Look.
Yeah, AKA Mad. And I'm trying to obviously change the conversation around men's mental health. But the reason I'm telling you to get connected with me on there is because I'm going to share the jungle trip on my Instagram stories. So you're going to be able to see me going through the pain. You're going to be able to see me getting bitten. You're going to see me crossing rivers and doing all that crazy stuff, all on Instagram. Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, right from his own mouth, his own story. Really inspirational story of facing challenges, overcoming them. A long history of struggles, no matter how long you deal with depression, addiction, whatever has come into your path to stop you from achieving your dreams. Dan has a great story of just sheer perseverance, seeking solutions, and then once you overcome your hurdles, realizing that now will be a lifelong endeavor for you, facing those struggles, taking them on, and helping other people, and through the power of his own heart, his own kindness, and the generosity of the Juice Plus company, Dan has been able to impact a lot of people, and he's going to continue to do so. So can't wait to see you rocking it in the jungles of Peru with the Jungle Ultra. Thank you very much, Mr. Dan Furlong.
Thank you, Levi. Thank you very much to all the Burdick clan.